Hi folks, thanks for watching, and today I'm going to take a trip down memory lane to 1995 and the gigs that I went to in that year. My name's Ricky and welcome to my channel, Gig in 60 Seconds. Okay, so it's 1995, 30 years ago. What was going on in the world? Let's just refresh your memory. So in the US, O.J. Simpson got acquitted of the murder of his wife and friend, in one of the biggest miscarriages of justice in recent times, in my opinion. Mike Tyson also got released from prison after serving his sentence for rape. And the NBA basketball star Michael Jordan returned to the Chicago Bulls after an unsuccessful year playing baseball. In the UK, we had the collapse of the investment firm Barings Bank, and also it marked the first time that there was no British soldiers in 26 years in the streets of Belfast in Northern Ireland. So some of the top movies that were around in 1995 were Batman Forever, Die Hard with a Vengeance. We had the first complete CGI movie which introduced us to the world of Woody and Buzz Lightyear in Toy Story. We also had the fantastic film Seven, which starred Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt about a serial killer carrying out crimes of the 7 deadly sins. And we also had Mel Gibson putting on somewhat of a dodgy Scottish accent in Braveheart. In the music scene, top selling songs in the UK, number one was Robson and Jerome with Unchained Melody. They, of course, featured in the TV programme Soldier Soldier. And then number two was Gangster's Paradise by Coolio, who I did actually go and see in concert, but more than that in the next few years. And we also had the Britpop Wars, so that was Oasis and Blur. And Oasis were releasing Roll With It, and Blur had released Country House. So Blur won out on that occasion with Country House getting the number one slot ahead of Oasis, and it sparked the start of some rivalry. Okay, so some music metal releases from 1995. We had Iron Maiden with X Factor. This was the first album with Blaze Bayley as the singer. We also had Skid Row with Subhuman Race. I was really into Skid Row at the time. We had Faith No More with King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime. And I think that is such a really good Faith No More album. I was really into them at that time and looking forward to seeing them in subsequent years. More on that in future videos. So yeah, there you go, some notable releases. I think Slash also released It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere as well. Okay, so now to my gigs. So I'm stepping it up year by year here. In 1993 there was just 2 gigs, and then 94 I had 3 gigs. So this year I've got 5. The first one that I went to was TerraVision at the Barrowlands. So I can't really remember how I got into TerraVision. I think it was on an album that was free. It might have been classic rock or NME music or something like that. It had the song Alice What's the Matter on it and found it really catchy. Bought the album and started going to see them. So I do kind of remember parts of this concert. I remember them playing Alice What's the Matter and Discotheque Wreck and Pretend Best Friend, etc. So I think I've seen TerraVision 5 times in total, and this was the first time that I saw them. Okay, so my second gig of the year was Skunk Anansie, and that was only £5. £5, can you believe that, to get into a gig? That was at King Tut's Wawa Hut. So first got into Skunk Anansie when I sent off for a free copy of Little Baby Swastika that they were plugging on Radio 1 at the time. I was lucky to get it because you had to send off with a self-addressed envelope, and I forgot to include the postage on the self-addressed envelope. But they sent me it anyway. Obviously they were probably keen to try and promote themselves and the band, so they sent me it out. It was a 7-inch single. Unfortunately I've misplaced it. I don't actually know where it is, but it was Little Baby Swastika on one side, and it was a live cover of something else on the B side, I think, from memory. So I kind of got into their music, and I bought the debut album, Paranoid and Sunburnt, and went along to this concert. They only played about 9 songs. I was right down the front, I do remember it. Really good atmosphere, seeing Skin singing live, really good sound. I mean, King Tut's, I don't know what the capacity is in that, probably 150, 200 people at a push, maybe. So that marked the first time that I saw them, and I'm going back this year to see them play in April, I think it is. So I'm quite excited for that, as I've not seen them for probably about 10 years or so. The next gig for me was Biohazard, and that was back at the Barrowlands. So I can't really remember how I got into Biohazard. I think they had released the album State of the World Address, and I don't know if it was like on on some sort of promotional cassette tape free with a cover, like a magazine that I'd bought or something. I don't know, but one of the things I do remember from that gig is that I wore my Tag Heuer watch that I'd been given as a present by my uncle, and I get ripped off my hand as I crowd surfed to the front. I was there with 2 pals, and I remember like trying to look for the watch afterwards on the floor, but obviously somebody had made off with it. So that was a note to self, not to wear jewellery at concerts. Certainly not in the early days when I was jumping about. I'm okay now that I sort of standing at the back and in seating areas. Don't really remember too much from the concert other than it being really loud. Next gig that I had was the Wild Hearts back at the Barrows in October. So yeah, I had a look there, and the set list was on, and they played about 19 songs on it. It was all stuff from Earth versus the Wild Hearts, and well, they were promoting the album Fuck, or PHUQ, but it is pronounced Fuck according to Ginger. So yeah, 19 songs from that, really good songs like Nita Nitro and Caprice, and with this other hits like At the Weekend and 29 Times the Pain. So really good night. Trying to remember if I went myself to that or not, or with a friend, but that was maybe probably the best Wild Heart show that I've been to. Okay, so the last band that I saw in 1995 was Iron Maiden, and that was the second time that I'd got to see Iron Maiden. So a wee story behind this one. I used to listen to a radio programme called the Tom Russell Rock Show. It's a legendary DJ in Scotland called Tom Russell that used to have interviews with bands, people on his show, and he would play all the latest rock and metal songs. It was a good way to get to know new bands. So I had a competition on one night, and it was to win. There was 3 pairs of tickets to see Iron Maiden at the X Factor tour. And it was like, phone up if you recognise this song. I can't remember what song it was they played, but anyway, I went down and I phoned up, and I got a call back to say I was a winner, and they read my name out along with the other couple of winners on the show. So you were meant to meet the band and get to sing with them on stage. So I took the guy from where I was working at the time, the Bank of Scotland, and the guy that had been to the Skunk Anansie show with me. So we went along to this, and we didn't get to see the band. The people at the bar said, no, that's not part of it. Sorry, we don't know anything about it, but we do know that you're allowed to go on stage. So I was a bit miffed that not to get to meet them, because obviously 2 years earlier I was 16 and I was quite young and immature, and I thought, right, this would be better, because I was only like a week off of turning 18, so obviously a bit wiser and a bit been at a few more concerts, etc. So that was kind of annoying. We did get to go up on stage again. It was similar. They said, like, come to the stage just when you hear this song getting played, and we got to go out, and go out in front of the stage, in front of the barras, and jump along to Heaven Can Wait during the chorusy bit, or the bit that goes, whoa, 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 whoa. So, I mean, that was good. That was good in itself, but disappointed in not getting to meet the band. So there is a wee bit of a conclusion to this story. So I was disappointed in not getting to meet the band. So I wrote in to Tom Russell to say, look, really grateful for getting to sing up on stage and the tickets for free to the show. However, I was disappointed I didn't get to meet the band. I didn't think would hear anything more of it, to be honest. And then a couple of months later, I got this package through from Iron Maiden, a letter signed by Rob Smallwood. I'll not bring it up here, but basically I've got a video all about Iron Maiden where I talk about this in detail, but he basically said, apologises, Iron Maiden don't like to disappoint their fans, and they'd sent me an X Factor tour t-shirt. It had the latest CD single, I think it was Lord of the Flies CD song, and just an apology. So I thought that was a really nice touch by them, and it certainly made my day. So that was it. That was the 5 gigs that I went to in 1995. Let me know if you were at any of these concerts, or what bands did you see in 95 and who did you enjoy seeing. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you later.